when people are upset in libraries about something, or they don't want to change, they have certain code words that they use that we've developed over the years. And some of them,
and so we can see these coming now. We walk in, and whenever somebody says to me, you know, we need better communication, what they're really saying is, I don't like what he said. I just don't agree with that. And when somebody says to me, we need more training, that what they're really telling us is, I don't like the way he's doing his job. and the one that I hear all the time, and you know, if you can say databases, you might understand the context this is in. When somebody says to me, we need more marketing, that is library code for nobody uses that service.
Right. But we're not going to give it up.
Right.
Because if they knew about it, God bless them, they'd use it.
so part of the work now for us is to get people to own that when somebody else is the solution. When you describe the problem to us in terms of, oh, we have this terrible problem, he needs to change, that maybe you're not taking responsibility for your work. And that the likelihood of a consultant coming in and smiting someone on your behalf and making them change is much smaller than working directly with somebody and saying, okay, what do you actually want to see happen? How can we make that happen? What can you do? And it's surprising how hard it is sometimes to get people to take that head on. They'd much rather talk about training than talk about taking some action on their own hook. They'd much rather talk about why other people are messing up than say, well, you know, it isn't perfect, and the one thing I can do to make it more perfect or more like what it needs to be is this thing. I won't say that we're passive, but we're what is the right word? I don't want to say that.
Some days we're passive, some days we're aggressive.
The idea that somehow I'll hold still and the rest of the world will change in order to get what I want seems to me a slow method. And that if people are really sincere about wanting something to be improved, that they would actually take a step. The other thing that happens is the people who insist on repeating exactly what they've been doing all along say, well, this is how we do it, this, but I don't get the result I want. And so I'm saying, well,
that means it takes better marketing.
Repeating the exact same steps and expecting a different result, it seems a leap of faith. And maybe if you want a different result, you ought to change the steps you're taking. That also is an interesting part of our sort of consulting as therapy approach to what we do. It's remarkably difficult to convince someone there's more than one right way to get there, and then maybe it starts with that.
Well, you know, and another part of this that I was just thinking of, and I hadn't put these two together before, the code words are kind of related to the standard objections.
Oh, yes.
When you think about it, we developed a list of standard objections that come up every time a new idea is introduced, okay? The first one is the staff won't like it. The second one is the public won't like it. The board won't like it. We tried that in 1977 and it didn't work.
Or this will just take way too much time.
Right.
Or
this is a frill and we need to get back to basics.
You can't prove that it'll be any better.
Right. I didn't go to library school to do this.
And if we spend as much time doing the stuff as we do explaining why we can't do it, I'm guessing we'd get more done. George and I were in the car. We were in Canada, I think.
Yes.
We were driving to a gig in Toronto, and we were listening to radio, and I can't remember whether it was NPR or CBC, and they were talking to the man who is, I believe, the mayor of Youngstown, Ohio. And Youngstown was a big industrial city that lost its industry and really fell on hard times. And it is a mere shadow of its former self. It's much smaller, the base is really shrunk. They had planned the infrastructure for one size, and now they've got population of a different size.
About half of what they planned for.
And so they're in the process now of right-sizing the city, doing some innovative things, including moving services to neighborhoods that are populous and saying, we're not going to service this part of the city, you're going to have to move if you still want your garbage picked up. But pretty radical stuff. We were talking to this young mayor, and he said, you know, you have to understand, I am not bitter about the way things used to be. I came here knowing that this was the deal. I thought I could make a difference. I know what I have to work with, and I'm going to do what I can do to move us forward. And I'm not going to waste any time talking about the way it used to be. And George almost ran off the road. That's it. We got so excited thinking about what libraries would be like if nobody was bitter about the past.